everybody, my name is Tommy and welcome to Aero Workshop. I have been meaning to do a video for quite some time just to give an insight into my background, how I ended up with this workshop and more importantly starting a YouTube channel. And so I thought the best way to do that was to just have what I'm going to call a workshop chat. Now, I might add more of these in the future just to keep everyone up to speed with what's going on in the workshop and maybe answer questions that people ask on my videos. But for this video, I'm going to concentrate on my background and the background of the workshop and starting the channel itself. So for me, I had an interest in woodworking from the age of 10 or 11. I can remember all I wanted to do once I got home from school was get out to a shed and start making something with timber, let it be a bird box or a bird feeding table. It didn't matter to me so long as I was making something out of wood. Now, all I had was a few very basic hand tools at the time, but I decided then that the career path I was going to take once I left school was going to involve woodworking. So once I left school in 1989, I was lucky enough to be able to get an apprenticeship in a joinery to become a joiner. And I must say that there were some fantastic joiners working in that workshop and passed on some fantastic knowledge to me, which I think has served me well in the years since. So in 1993, I had completed my apprenticeship and I continued to work in that business. But in 1994, that's when things started to change a little bit. I was actually made foreman of that joinery, and at the same time I decided to build this workshop here for myself so that I could do some jobs in the evenings and at the weekends when I wasn't in my normal day job. But things actually went so well here myself that I ended up in 1996 starting my own joinery officially full-time here, and I left the other joinery where I had served my apprenticeship. Now, when I started, I had very few machines. I only got the bare basics just to get me up and running. But by the time I get to 1996, I had added some more machinery, and that's when I actually added the big panel saw and the tenon and things like that. And since then, I did add more personnel to the workshop and I did add some other machinery, and I upgraded some of the very first machinery that I had got, like the planer thicknesser. And things were actually going pretty well. The mainstay of the joinery was windows, doors, staircases, kitchens and wardrobes. But really the key products were staircases and sliding sash windows. So, like I said, everything was going very well. We did have then this recession, the building bust, as we'll call it, in 2008, 2009, 2010, when someone killed off the Celtic tiger that was in Ireland at the time. But I did have to downgrade a little bit at the time to streamline the business just to get through that patch because it wasn't near as busy. But I was able to keep the business going just on a smaller scale. So that brings me on to the end of 2018, and that's where things start going a little bit backwards for me. I began to have some health issues, which kept me out of the workshop for a time, but I was still continuing on as much as I could. But it soon became apparent in 2019 that dust, and especially fine dust, wasn't conducive to helping me out with the issues that I was having. So it was one of the toughest decisions I've ever had to make, but in early 2019 I decided that I had to close the business. And the chances are I wasn't going to actually be able to do this anymore. That's the bottom line. Now, at that time I did sell some of the newer machines that I had at the time. I sold a planer thicknesser, a wide belt sander. I had a full big dust extraction system that had not long put in. I sold that because it was new and I could get a good return on the investment. and a few other small machines. And basically the workshop lay vacant here for a good 12 months, 13 months. And then we got into 2020 and COVID struck and everyone was in lockdown. And I began, like a lot of the world did at the time, I started looking at some YouTube, and I did especially look at some woodworking YouTube channels, and it got me thinking that maybe this was something that I might still be able to do, and it would stop me from cracking up, it'd bring me back to what I like doing, and it'd give me an opportunity to pass on some of the knowledge that I had learned through all the years of having a business and a joinery business, and what I had learned on the different types of things that we were making. So I took the decision that I was going to tidy up the workshop. I was going to reintroduce some of the machinery that I had moved out to make room for newer stuff, and give it a lick of paint, tidy it up. So the first thing I needed to do, once I had the machinery positioned where I wanted it and the shed tidied up, was to reintroduce some sort of a small dust extraction system, just purely to catch the dust that I was using mainly, to keep it in the way that I could actually be in here and do some small projects. So as part of that, I needed some blast gates to be able to turn off different sections of the pipework. And I made the decision then that instead of just going off and buying some sort of blast gates, I was actually going to make the blast gates myself, and I was going to video that, and that was going to be my first video on YouTube. Now, I made that video with a very old camera. I had no knowledge or experience of editing videos whatsoever, and the hardest thing for me at the time, and it still gets a little bit tricky every now and again, was actually standing in a workshop on your own talking to a camera. That has to be the most difficult thing I've ever done in this workshop, is getting used to talking to a camera. So 14 months later and 30 odd videos and 2,000 subscribers now to the channel, I sincerely hope that things have gotten a little bit better when it comes to the footage and the editing of the videos. Now, I would again at this stage like to thank everyone who has supported me in any way since I started the channel. Let that be from just watching the videos, subscribing to the channel, leaving very kind and supportive comments to my videos, giving the videos a thumbs up. There's a new feature now called Super Thanks, and I have had some super thanks from some viewers, so I'd like to thank for that as well. And especially for the people who have contributed to the channel to support me via my PayPal. So now I am at the point where I am no longer a joinery business. It looks like now that I am actually a full-time woodworking YouTuber. So now you have a little bit of the background as to what has gotten me to where I am now. So next up is, what is the future of the channel going forward? Well, I am going to continue when I can to make videos on jigs and templates and small projects in the workshop here, and I will also be continuing work on the CNC. Now, I know that maybe some people that are on the channel at the moment don't really like the CNC work, but for me it's something I've been wanting to get into for years, and I'm actually really enjoying every minute of working with it and learning the software to create things on the CNC. And I have a little video, I wasn't going to put it on YouTube, but I have a little video of making a cherry cutting board for our motorhome that we can bring around with us, and it's just a little bit of something I've done for fun. But I will let that video play at the end of this video, so if you are interested in a little bit of CNC carving, I will let that video run at the end of this, and you can stick around and have a look at that. There are some big projects I need to do that I will cover on the channel, but unfortunately they're going to probably have to go on the back burner a little bit because I need to purchase materials for them. And honestly, the price of materials in the last 12 months have gone sky high. I just can't justify it. Like I said, I'm a small YouTube channel. That's the only income I have. And anyone who have ever had a YouTube channel and know a small YouTube channel doesn't even make enough to pay for the electricity in the workshop. So hopefully the channel will grow, and hopefully it will be able to sustain buying materials for those type of projects, and then I can cover those type of projects on the channel. Now, I do have a kind of a limited time in the workshop. Sometimes I just don't feel up to being in the workshop, and then there's other times that I do have other projects to do, especially this time in the year where you have lawns to be mowed, hedges to be cut and stuff, and there's general maintenance to be done around the place, where it's not always woodworking projects that I will be working on. Now, if people would like to see other projects that are not woodwork related, please let me know in the comments, and I will try to see, can I video some of those as I work through them as the year goes on. So with that being said, I think I've probably rambled on long enough for this video. Like I said, I will add the CNC clip at the end, just so if you want to stick around to watch it. Now, if there's anything that I've said in the video that maybe you would like something done or a question asked, leave a comment in the video. I try to answer all comments if I can. Sometimes I might miss the odd one because it doesn't show up on the phone. But other than that, I do try and answer all comments. And if you would like another one of these workshop chats, maybe one every 2 months, just to bring everyone up to speed with what's going on the channel, again, let me know in the comments and I'll see what I can do about adding one about every 2 months. So that's about it for this video. Don't forget to stick around for the CNC. So all that's left for me to say again is thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Good luck.